Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat. Today we have a masterclass on how the Hollywood big agency world thinks about all things digital.
We got our big boss friend Jad in the building.
Boss friend Jad. Woo! This guy's just selling TVs and digital podcasts, making dreams come true. If you want to know how people move to LA and their dreams do come true, it's because they meet people like Jad and he makes it happen. Right?
Exactly. That's exactly how it works.
I mean, I think that's what he said. He gave us a description of what he does.
A lot of cross sections.
There's a lot of this going on, a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, you should just listen to the way he talks and take that to your office today, and you'll sound smart as shit.
Yeah. So Jad's our very good friend. We've been friends for a long time. He gives us a lot of inside info, and also we've worked together for a long time. And what's funny is, after all this time of being friends, I wasn't even sure what your exact job description was.
He's like,
but
what do you do?
You're going to tell us. And let me just tell you, we learned a lot.
It was a great conversation.
So we talked about that for quite a while, and then we also had to, of course, touch on some news. We got to check in with Bill Gates, and I want to know why I followed Anand's investing advice and now I'm broke. So
we got a lot of tourists in here.
If anyone has a spare couch, I could maybe sleep on. Jad, you have a nice place, right?
It's Joseph.
Okay. Yeah. Star maker. Okay. All right. And Dee, what's up with Kickstarter?
We actually hit our goal on Saturday.
Ooh.
And now...
That was quick.
It was quick.
Was that Kathy Power?
That was Kathy Power. Came in hard. And so now we have to keep the momentum going. We just have 25 more days left of the Kickstarter.
25 more days?
Yeah.
You already hit?
Yeah.
All right. Up it.
So hit Alice Gray Kickstarter. Support us. Buy a clog.
Wow.
They're recycled.
Shout out to everyone who went and supported.
I know. It's amazing.
And if you didn't, now's your chance. You still have an opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, now you know they're going to get made.
Yes.
You don't have to be one of those people like,
Okay. We'll put the link in the description of the episode, and then it's all over social media. There you go. Who's ready?
Me.
Woo. Let's do it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Jad.
Welcome,
How's it going,
Jad.
boys?
Welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having me.
So in the intro, which I'm not sure because it'll be in the future if you stuck around for it or not, but I introduced you as our friend because you are that, I would say, first, right? We've known you for quite some time now. How long have we known each other now? Probably 8 years?
Yeah, about 8 years.
And I think when we first met, we talked about how to do some work together. We were talking about our first project was pitching a Reckless Girls reality show.
That's right.
About girls, like a bad girls club. It's kind of more like what Blueface is doing now.
But we were trying to do some social media tricks to it.
Yeah. We had a good, thing.
It was a good idea.
Didn't work out. And over the years, we've continuously sort of, all three of us have been friends as well as sort of worked together intermittently, right? That being said, this long after the fact of meeting you, I no longer even know what your title is. I don't even know exactly what you do. I just know you have a lot of pull over there at William Morris. Could you give us a little intro?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Big fan of what you guys have been doing, as you know.
Yes.
Have been a loyal Kathy since early days, although with the recent kind of, I rely on your advice a lot. And I think with that reliance, I've been heavy into Dogecoin, thanks to Pete. And into,
I mean, of all the people you listen to, after all these years, I don't know what you guys are doing over there, William Morris.
Dogecoin and Coinbase. I think Pete's advice has been better than Anand's. And we're talking about returns here.
That's
and at this point,
Didn't I tell you on IPO day not to buy Coinbase?
if this keeps happening, I'm going to be a Karen before you know it. So let's just get that straight.
Karen,
yeah, I'm going to be transforming anyway.
Think about that. In a way, Pete's advice has been the best, most sound advice of the last month.
Empirically, it's been better. Thank you, kind of.
A lot of years.
Oh my God.
No, but seriously, I'm a huge fan and great to be here. But to answer your question, Drama, my title now is I'm a division head of the digital media division at William Morris Endeavor.
Nice.
I've been there for almost 13 years now, 12 years and change. I started off in the TV division, which is still very much part of my business and how I've kind of what knowledge I've brought into the digital media practice.
Yeah.
And I'm a partner there, and I have a kind of a very eclectic, hybridized list of clients that span everything from traditional television business to very digital centric businesses to a lot of multifaceted media companies, which is essentially become my specialties, building multidimensional media companies, often that are anchored with some sort of a major talent. For instance, Pharrell and his company I Am Other, Robert Downey Jr., his company Team Downey, so on and so forth. So that's a bit of kind of my focus.
So is it safe to say that the crossroads of where like the OG celebrities like Pharrell or Robert Downey Jr. want to go digital, or these new digital celebrities want to level up to like the big leagues, that's where you live?
Yeah, you kind of pinpointed it. It's the department. I've been running the department for about 3 years, and when it started, the digital medium was becoming a little more sophisticated, and the business was becoming a little more sophisticated, and the idea was to start bringing some of the practices of traditional media into what we were doing in the Wild West and the kind of unregulated space of digital. Yeah. And so that was really applying it to digital native talent and IP and different publishers and clients like BuzzFeed and Refinery29 and Vox Media and companies of that nature. Yeah. And we're helping them bridge into the more traditional film and TV world.
Got it.
What has kind of transpired over the last few years is digital's become kind of it's ubiquitous. Everyone connects to it in some way, shape, or form. So our practice covers podcasting, gaming, talent, content packaging, and digital commercial endorsements. Yeah. And then what started to happen is the last year and a half, especially, our clients that are kind of powerhouses in the traditional space are very much interested and fixated on building a lasting kind of digital presence. Yeah. So that's a guy like Robert Downey Jr. building Team Downey. Yeah. He launched a podcast 2 weeks ago that we helped him with. It's connected to a YouTube channel. It's connected to another traditional content play. And it's really about building that spider web of content, connectivity, marketing, and utilizing people's audiences in a really smart way and kind of point it and turbocharge certain ventures that they're interested in.
Agents just know how to like talk.
I know the way that sounded. Literally, I was a little.
Yeah, man, I sell clothes.
Yeah.
Hey, we're trying to do that with you. You know,
2 minutes ago I was lost, but when he wrapped it up, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah,
yes, whatever it is. I
just been like,
well, I hope not everyone's lost.
This, that. I was like, fuck, man, you guys are doing some shit over there.
Yeah, man. And here's my other note is like, this is a really big moment actually, because what the listeners don't know is, you know, behind the scenes, you comment on a lot of the things we say. Sometimes you say, hey, you guys were right on that. Good job. Sometimes you say, hey, you guys are idiots. That's not at all how it actually goes.
Not often.
But, apparently, I'm the idiot.
Yeah.
Because of crypto? Yeah. Who knew? Pete's the genius.
Funny how the tables turn.
The pandemic's really switched things up, you know?
So this is a big moment that we actually, you know, for the longest time, maybe the timing wasn't right or whatever to get you on, but now we actually get to, you know, talk about it live. Because we've been talking a lot about Jake Paul, Logan Paul, all this crazy stuff going on. You know, there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember years ago, I don't know how long all the agencies have had digital divisions, but like
how long is that? That's actually a good question.
Probably like 7 years almost. I mean, Chris Jackman, who I co-ran the division with for a long time, started it, and he was way ahead of the game in kind of identifying YouTubers as these really lasting kind of businesses and personalities. And so he really pioneered it for our agency and starting to fixate on that business and build businesses around those people. So whether he was early on folks like Lily Singh and Casey Neistat and the early kind of pioneers of the space.
And what's interesting is I remember 6-7 years ago, I was always interested in the space and I would meet with people. I'd go to the offices. And like the digital division was like not taken seriously.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was, you know, across the street, not in the main office. It was like that type of vibe, right? Now, fast forward, like what you represent is all that it is the future, right? Like
when the present.
And present and the future.
Yeah.
And when I think about like a movie star in the traditional sense, we all know actors, we know movie stars, we know athletes, we know artists, we know all these different types of people. I'd rather represent a digital talent any day over a movie star. They just don't even like.
Well, I think even to that point, like they're the future movie stars. And why I say that is because young people, when you're a young creative, you are seeking mediums that you can kind of practice your craft, your art form, whether that's music based, it's fashion based, it's design based. There's different social media platforms that really cater to that, and you can do it directly. Back in the day, you had to go to auditions. You had to figure out these different kind of funnels that acted essentially as gatekeepers to who could get in and access the system. I think now, if you're a young talent, you start your own podcast, you start your own kind of design work and put it up on Instagram. You start making YouTube videos and you act like an actor, and those become your audition tapes. So that while there's never going to be a total departure from some of the traditional means of getting into these businesses, because there's an importance for acting school, there's importance to, coming from certain kind of more structured systems and schools and experienced backgrounds. But I think that young people who are ambitious, who want to get their voice out there, want to get their thing out there, that's how they're doing it. So we're learning about them in that manner, and they're then kind of making their way through the agency to these traditional parts. And so I just think that it's not just a matter of who you prefer to represent in this time and age. It's that before you had to watch Mickey Mouse Club to see who like the next, young star was going to be, the next Timberlake. Yeah. Now you see them on YouTube.
Yeah. And
where did what's her name come from? Olivia Rodrigo.
She's from Rodriguez.
She's Disney.
I think she's Disney.
Yeah, she's one of the last. I feel like the
last.
She's almost like the Britney Spears model in a way.
Yeah.
But she's like the biggest thing in the world now.
And massive on social. And so that became like right away, she had this double presence.
Yeah. So as you saw this bubbling like 4 or 5 years ago, we've known you for some time, and you kind of have always been on the cutting edge of where things are going. How much pushback did you get within this agency? Because this agency's been around for, I don't know, however many years. It's an old school Hollywood traditional agency.
And because we talk about it a lot, it's Ari who created the agency is Ari Gold from Entourage.
Yeah. So the inspiration.
This is it's the same guy.
It's the same guy. Every scene is exactly
and that's actually a documentary. That's a documentary about how William Morris was built.
It was zero fiction. Yeah. But how did you get pushback? Were people like, who the F is Jake Paul? Who are these people?
No, it's a good question. I mean, I think the agency itself has always embraced, Ari and the leadership have always really embraced kind of new technology and new kind of mediums, and even our UFC affiliation kind of predated them being super mainstream and widely accepted. So
yeah, most people thought that was a bad acquisition at the time.
Most people thought it was a bad acquisition. We represented them for a long time before we acquired them, and before invested in them. And so I think that the leadership of the company has always been very open to and embracing these new technologies and new sources of business, including digital. I think what was more the issue was that other parts of the entertainment ecosystem were not that accepting of those people. I think that it was viewed, and there's still sometimes, you still hear that sometimes, where there's a stigma of being a quote unquote digital star, but that phrase digital star is kind of going, it's
a star.
It's going away.
Yeah.
They're just stars now. You talk about someone like Addison Rae or the Paul brothers. Those guys are just gigantic superstars.
They're mega stars.
Yeah, I mean,
they're global superstars.
Yeah. And I was going to ask, like, if Jennifer Lawrence or Addison Rae walk through a mall in Middle America, who gets a bigger response?
I have to think Addison Rae. Not even close.
Yeah, I don't think
Who's
it's
Jennifer
close.
Lawrence?
Look, there's a lot more young people that are big time content consumers, right? Yeah. And so the youth audience is going to be much more keyed into who's coming off of TikTok and YouTube and Instagram.
It's relatable. It's humanized. Yes. Like you feel like you're friends with them. Jennifer Lawrence or someone like that, you're like scared to approach. You don't really know them. I feel like all these kids think that they're like best friends with Addison Rae. They get her.
Yeah, and I even think about like, with the exception of like, who's like a traditional movie star that's always relevant? It's like The Rock. And
that's because they built such a big digital presence.
Yeah.
Like if you take away Kevin Hart, The Rock's digital presence, they're now like, you know what I mean?
The only real question, and I'm curious your take, is because everything digital, the half-lives are shorter and shorter, meaning the longevity is just not as long as it used to be, because you have kind of the traditional barriers to entry that keep stars, and now there's no barriers to being a star. So are these stars going to cycle out as quickly as they came on? Because 18 months ago, no one knew who Addison Rae was. And now she's arguably the biggest digital top 5 stars in the world, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say digital. I would say in general.
star.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I think that's where great agencies, representation, collaborations, companies come into place. Like
That's what a great digital
that's how you
program.
extend these moments. That's how you kind of make a bigger
You're right.
business out of something that could otherwise be a flash in the pan. I'm not saying that it's all reliant on that, but it's definitely a great tool and a great way to kind of really be strategic about your next couple of years of your career. So when you look at someone like, we'll keep talking about Addison. I mean, Addison has business and touch points in a lot of different areas. And some of them are more traditional and some of them are very digital centric, but it's all part of, her primary agents who are thinking about what happens in 6 months, in a year. How do you do music, features, TV, etc., merch? She's got all of her kind of merch alignments and deals. And so a little bit of it is figuring out how to extend those things. And I think to your question is a good one. I think it applies to people who become super famous on a Netflix show, and whether they kind of go down that path of extending the moment and figuring out how to capitalize on it more or not.
So is it safe to say your job is to make sure Addison Rae is not Clubhouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well said. That's like put it in group chat terminology.
Great way to encapsulate it.
Clubhouse-
They have a whiteboard at the office.
Clubhouse,
Clubhouse
no.
X.
Facebook,
Addison Rae,
yes.
no.
No, because if you think about it, Clubhouse was a TikTok star.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
pandemic, digital.
Hottest thing ever.
Hottest thing ever.
Yeah.
And as recent as January, February, it was the hottest digital platform on the planet.
Yeah.
It's a meme now.
But here's one interesting thing. We've signed multiple people who popped on Clubhouse. We just became aware of them through Clubhouse and realized that they could build a book business, that they could build a kind of educational business. They are doing, people we've signed and are doing now master classes on finance, for instance.
Yeah.
So there's a number of different things that happen. I think Clubhouse itself, for us, is not something we're fixated on.
Yeah.
But we definitely paid attention to the talent and who was on it. And there's a couple of really strong formats, and you guys referenced that show, the tech guys, the women.
NYU.
Yes.
Tech guys.
Exactly. Like that. That's
Shoot your shot.
exactly.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that popped from the format from the platform that now people like us and in Hollywood at large are paying attention to and figuring out how they can become something else.
That's a good example too, is like you guys find the difference. You find the ones that could be the longer term stars instead of the ones that are going to burn out. And then you figure out how to make them. Yeah. Well, if you're doing good, if you're hitting the mark a lot, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you're finding them the book deal. You're finding them the podcast. You're figuring out how to make them a brand.
Yes. And do it in a way that's authentic to their voice, in a way that I think the audience now is super smart too, that they pay attention to. If you're doing a brand integration, they notice. So these things have to be real extensions. And you guys talk about this all the time. You can see certain celebrity product alignments that are perfect.
Yeah.
They're meant for each other. It's not just, because they wanted to secure a giant bag. It's because they wanted to do that and it made sense for their overall persona, their overall business. That word authenticity gets thrown around a lot, but it has serious implications in the long term.
What platform do you guys pay attention to most now? Like when you see someone bubbling, what's the most important platform?
I think it just depends. I mean, I think YouTube continues to be very important because you can really play with real content. Like you can actually make content, make longer form stuff. There's more kind of advanced productions that are from that platform. But you notice people gaining popularity on TikTok, on Instagram. People pop from different places, but podcasting is also super important. I mean, the podcasting division has been one of the most important and most kind of multi-dimensional to traditional Hollywood. If you think about the book business, the feature business, the TV business, the scripted business, the documentary business, a lot of it has underlying rights based on podcasts or comes from, an idea that was generated there.
Got it. And are Jake and Logan Paul the biggest stars in the world right now?
I mean, they're definitely up there.
Okay.
We're paying attention to them. Sure. We've known, those guys we've worked with in different capacities for a long time. And, when they were just early days YouTube stars, we were working with them, and they've kind of taken their careers in their own hands and taken a couple different turns. but we still work with them, and there's a bunch of different kind of aspects of their business that is handled with really kind of expert approach. And then those guys are just marketing geniuses. They know how to fuck around and like,
Yeah.
Because like when you think about like a movie star today, is there a young, and I just don't watch enough movies, and there might be, is there a young man or woman in the same age range that, you know, early 20s, mid 20s, that it has like a, you know, trajectory of the, you know, the kind of icons of right now, which is like The Rock or Leonardo DiCaprio, or any of these people? Is it like a 25-year-old where you're like, wow, this kid's going to be a star? Or it's because of the medium, they just can't, they'll never be that big?
this isn't a cop out, but that's hard to answer because if we brought up The Rock a couple times. I mean, the agent who represents Dwayne Johnson has represented him for a very long time. He's represented him since he was just on WWE. And he got
The same guy?
Same guy.
Wow.
Damn.
So he's
Bad.
That's right.
Once he changed his
He'll be
last name to
chief of
Bad.
staff and president.
But I mean, think about that. You know, he came up the traditional world, WWE, doing sitcoms, did embrace digital early, started doing a lot of different things early. But I don't think you could have predicted when he was in the WWE that he was going to be the biggest star in the entire world.
Yeah. No
And
chance.
so-
That's kind of Logan Paulish.
So it's
Yeah,
hard.
that's
So
what I'm
it's,
saying.
You know what I mean?
it's hard to guess that stuff. I think it's, you know, you can find genuine talent. And I think in today's age, some people have genuine hardcore talent and some people are just like marketing wizards and they're pop culture, just phenomenons.
Yeah.
And those are two different things. And there's different people in the representation business that I think are very good at those different things. Those are different skills.
And do you think, or can you share if A-list clients, whether it's writers, producers, or actual talent, that are just bitter at the way the world is going? Meaning brand deals are getting taken from Addison Rae, the Paul brothers, D'Amelios, and all these people that came from nowhere, and they're just like calling you guys like, what's going on? Why are they?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone comes out and says it, but I mean, you definitely feel a little bit of that. I mean, you even hear that sort of narrative where,
They're
you know,
like, imagine if you like studied method acting for 15 years
Yeah.
and you lose a Pepsi deal to Addison Rae.
Absolutely.
But I mean, that kind of started happening. You guys talk about this all the time. That kind of started happening with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
You know, that and they
I guess that's
became,
what reality TV kind of was.
yeah. I mean, they became very famous and very popular and part of like pop culture kind of before social media was massive. And they kind of fed right into that. And so I think that narrative of like, so what's the actual skill, you know, has popped up. But I think pop culture determines those things. Like there's a lot of different qualities that consumers want besides that. But I mean, to answer your question, yeah, I'm sure people, but the whole business is competitive as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that can apply to like you overnight. I always think about this. If you work in film and TV or if you're an actor, it takes years for those projects to get made. It takes such a long time for them to hit and for the kind of audience to embrace them and for you to become a household name. You could drop a mega single hit and you're famous the very next
I mean,
day.
to be Dogface 420.
Yeah, the biggest star in the
10
world.
seconds to ride down the street.
But
with
like
some cranberries.
we were talking about
Not even your song.
Yeah.
we were talking about 24K Golden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy came up on social, dropped a mega hit, became famous overnight, is building a huge business as we speak. And he's, you know, I think he's awesome. And that happened much quicker than if he was an actor.
Yeah. I mean, I think the interesting part
Quit
is
acting if you're trying to act.
just grind it out.
I was literally thinking about like being an actor, like a real actor, might be like being a football player in 10 years, where it's like, who wants to go through that much work to make this money when you could do this?
There's still this like purity to the craft and to the art form and to what it is. You're still.
I wonder if 10 years from now, nobody cares.
But here's the thing is, when you look at the biggest movies of the year, right? They're like cartoon characters. It's like Marvel and fucking DC. It's just like, it's shit that Stan Lee created.
No, but
like,
I mean,
for 50 years
forget
ago.
even-
IP that was made.
Yeah, it's not even acting, really, right?
But
Like,
forget even like the
It depends on whose barometer you're using. That's a studio barometer. If you looked at all the movies that went to the Oscars, they weren't that, right?
yeah, but that
I
was,
know
like,
there's
that was crickety.
Even like
couple
the biggest
schools of thought on that,
comedians.
but sorry, Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going on.
no. What I was saying is that there's even forget the biggest stars on TikTok and YouTube. There's plenty of just content machines, TikTok houses that are making so much money creating videos at home, not going to acting school, not going to auditions, and making millions of dollars.
But if you grew up wanting to be an actor,
but I'm saying the generation now
they may not want it.
They don't even want to go to work.
I think there's still a lot of people who do.
Okay.
Do you think right now there's a lot of 14-year-olds? Okay, let me ask you this. 14-year-olds today versus 14-year-olds 20 years ago, amount that want to become real actors. Don't you think that number has to have taken a huge hit?
I think the number of kids that you asked what they want and they say they want to be like a YouTube star has skyrocketed, right?
Yes.
And that has to come from
because I don't see any actors in Uruses. I only see digital talent in Uruses.
But isn't it just...
So, I mean...
A lot of digital talent.
Isn't it Urusai? Is it plural?
I mean, I saw a couple driving. They had like an orange and a green one. Like they each had one.
But drama, isn't it the same thing? Because a 15-year-old when we were growing up that wanted to go into acting just wanted to be famous. They wanted to be a star. So the concept of a star has just changed. So you can be a star on TikTok, YouTube, or whatnot.
And I think that's really well said because, again, we've talked about Addison Rae. She's going to be a star of a studio film. So like her...
Is that breaking news?
Her stardom...
Did you just break news?
...is going...
That's the movie.
No wonder you're not allowed to come on this show.
Loose lips.
All of us.
Why don't you pour him another one? Let's see if we can get out of him.
So, the stardom was channeled into this kind of traditional kind of thing because there's still a huge value to it. If you can incorporate these things into like the 360 degree wheel of a talent's kind of business and life, it's powerful.
So go ahead, sir.
Well, no, I was just going to say there's this, I would only ask you this. This is fun because we're friends, so I can ask you this question. There's a perception that we've even talked about on this podcast that the agencies and the sort of old model are missing the boat. But it sounds like that's not at all what's happening. And you guys are just, the moment any of these social media stars want to level up, they still need to come through people like you guys.
It definitely helps. And I think that they approach it in a much kind of higher level with a better hit ratio on how they approach it. You get to also benefit from all the mistakes that get made when you go and do your first project, TV show, series, etc. I mean, there's still something to having great partners, great creative partners, people that are going to bring the project to life the right way. I mean, when agents take a project out to market, your whole goal is to get the client as much creative control and just generally reduce the variables that you can't kind of solve for and have a partner that can get the project sold.
Yeah.
So it's all about stacking the deck so that when you go out, there's less reasons to attack it, to weaken kind of the project, to let other people make decisions around the project. And it's hard to do when you're kind of trying to do it on your own.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I have a question. What in the flying fuck is network television doing?
I don't know, buddy.
I mean, like, you're a CBS.
He's in the digital department now.
I mean, You're a CBS executive. You're sitting around and you're making television shows?
Well,
what are you doing?
I think that this...
watching these shows.
Well, they have ad buyers.
I mean, there's some that are hits, right?
They have ad buyers.
What is a hit?
What's
Name
a
a
hit?
network show that's a hit.
Good Place. Well, that's over. There were ones.
I'm saying in the last couple of years.
But here, you have to kind of think of it a little differently.
Big Bang Theory.
You mentioned...
That's 15 years ago.
Even CBS is part of a streaming bundle now.
Yeah.
So like broadcast television is matriculating into streaming. We just saw this the announcement of what Discovery and Turner just did.
Yeah.
I mean, that changes the dynamics of the marketplace a little bit because in a good way, arguably, I mean, you could argue both sides, but you have Netflix, Amazon, Apple, Hulu, and then you have the cable kind of world and landscape, and you have a couple other bundles, right? The ascent of Discovery and Turner, that's another powerful bundle. I mean, you also have Disney, of course, which I didn't mention, but now they're no longer this cable business. They're this streaming monolith, and they're going to be very powerful. There's going to be a lot of money injected into the system. They're going to compete with the other guys in a way that the fragmented kind of single cable spots couldn't. So,
but the problem is when you make content, whoever makes the decision for network television has bad fucking taste, right? So
They're playing for a different audience.
No, I don't believe that. I think that audience
They're playing for the north of 50-year-olds.
No,
Yeah.
but they're those north of 50-year-olds, which I know plenty because I'm 40 now.
You don't know that many north of 50.
I hang.
You don't know Middle America north of 50.
Yeah,
I
That's
met
a
Pete's
totally
parents the
different-
other day.
Pete's parents
Yeah,
are
and
watching
you-
CBS.
do they watch-
guaranteed.
get a lot
Do they
of
watch
Probably like
broadcast
talking
television?
to aliens.
No, but like I think what do your parents watch?
What about like This Is Us or
No.
Modern Love? Aren't those shows like
Well, what do they
Yeah,
watch?
I don't even know what they watch. I don't.
Can you ask them?
TikTok?
Sure, I'll ask them and see.
My
My
dad's
dad's gotten
parents
into
live in
YouTube
Ohio.
now.
My
Okay.
parents are live in Ohio and they're in their 60s.
Yeah.
They watch a lot of broadcast TV. They've started to mix that into watching, streaming and Netflix and whatnot. But they're not like us, where they have 6 different streaming services and they're watching everything on that. I think
My mom's on Prime. She's on Netflix. She's not watching network television.
She's also
Oh, yeah.
way more tech savvy.
She's savvy.
I don't
You have
think.
to
But
go
And
here's
you're
the thing
arming
is-
her up.
But no, we're not even.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
came home last night
But
from the
she
party and
also
she was
had-
on Amazon Prime watching some like Indian stand-up
But
show.
she also had Prodigy for us when we were 12 years old.
But that's not the point. The point is once
Prodigy was
No,
the
listen.
first internet service back in
Yeah.
the mid 90s for our listeners.
that was probably necessary.
Yeah, it was too.
but here's the
I was
thing.
like, what the fuck?
But my point
that?
is, my point is not that okay. She's tech savvy. She enjoys the content better. So it's just a matter of time
Ooh.
till your parents are going to be on Prime Video.
But that matter of time is being met with mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah.
So that CBS is part of the CBS Viacom Showtime kind of package.
yeah.
And you're seeing that in a couple different iterations.
It's just the content on. You look at network and cable. There's you can point to like 5 shows that have made an impact on culture, whereas Netflix or Prime drop a show every Thursday, and they're the biggest show in the world.
You just hit on something really important. If you're in the broadcast world, you have a certain number of time slots.
Yeah.
You have 24 hours in a day, 24 or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
if you're 30 minute, but let's call them 24 time slots. If you're in the digital streaming business, you have infinite time slots.
Yeah.
You can program.
But that's my point. How do they
algorithmically.
compete?
You can, I mean,
I'll give you an example. Last,
they compete with sports packages
yeah.
and with legacy advertisement bundles.
Well, I'll give you an example. Last week, when the Lakers played the Warriors, right? That game was the biggest sporting event in basketball of the year. Biggest game of basketball of the year. That game aired at
outrated
10
2019 finals.
Yeah, okay.
Pre-pandemic.
Really?
Yeah.
It aired on cable at 10 p.m. in the East Coast. Why the fuck didn't ABC just say, no, we're going to put in this prime time, move this game to 4:30 and just make it happen? It's like, even today, like there's all these basketball games on. Only the Laker game is on ABC. What the fuck is on ABC that's better than basketball right now? Like, why doesn't ABC have a Sunday night game? The Lakers and Suns should be Sunday night at 7:30.
Well, this is the prime time. For Sunday NBA, 12:30 Pacific is prime time. For Saturday, the prime time NBA game is 5 p.m. Pacific.
I disagree. You know why? Because in years past, Sunday night was HBO night. It was this night. You know, ABC had big shows. All these. Nobody does it like that anymore, right? Like I can watch my big show whenever I want. So why not if I'm the network, like on the prime time, just get the views. It's like we do Instagram posts just to get likes. They should put content that we know for sure people are going to watch. Because why does CBS pay for all those football things? Because it's halo effect on their entire network, right? It's not. That's literally the only thing CBS and Fox and ABC have is fucking football.
Look, you guys know this better than anyone. It's super hard for legacy businesses that have been crushing and dominant for decades to start changing. They're those
Macy's.
big.
Yeah.
They're those big, slow moving kind of oil tankers. It takes them a minute to kind of reorient. But I think that you see the kind of more advanced ones figuring out how to do what you're talking about, how to have second windows, how to have a streaming platform that lets you kind of consume things the way you want to and kind of binge consume them. But there's a lag on that stuff, and it's several years. And
but
when it
several
takes
years in this market is like toast.
Yeah.
It 100% toast from a relevance perspective. The problem is they're so fat on the ad buying dollars that they don't even know what's happening.
That's
Because
what's crazy.
And
That's what keeps you blind, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
They're
I'll
still
play
hitting
devil's
there.
advocate for a second. You guys have talked about this too. Disney.
Yeah.
They were a late entrant into the streaming game. They're fine. They have gigantic number of subscribers. They were able to kind of resituate themselves. It took them a minute longer, but They're thinking
But they also had the IP.
They had the IP, but they're also thinking about their existing 5-year licenses, their carriage deals with Cox and with these other kind of carriers. They're thinking about things that are like very kind of 5-10 years at a time.
Yeah.
And I think it takes time to adjust those. And then also like, again, like there's a lot of examples. Like we've talked individually, but also you guys talked on the pod, like HBO Max. I think people doubted their ability and their launch. I would argue that their programming is getting a lot of pop culture love. People are paying attention to their scripted programming.
We hated on it at first.
We all hated on it. I hated on it at first. I think I'm my favorite show that's on right now is on there, and I'm watching it with my wife, Hacks, which I think you guys maybe mentioned. But it's a hilarious show, really well written. But I mean, these companies snap their fingers, port their IP over, align with the right partners, and they're like in business.
So I think to Anand's point too, like the first thing that has to change is the ad. Like people have to stop giving them money.
Yeah, I mean, whoever at Procter and Gamble.
So just if they stopped, they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
How
because like another good example is obviously big friend of the pod, Rob Dyrdek. How much is MTV worth? Is it worth $1 billion? $2 billion? So Pete, I got you a birthday gift.
Wow, what'd you get me?
I got you a ledger. I actually got you a ledger. I'm going to engrave it.
Is there anything on it?
With money or anything?
Yeah.
No, this guy's rich.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I forgot.
Well, since I bought it on Robinhood, I don't really have the coins to put it anywhere. But with the theory of another, I have, I can.
You can put your ass in there.
Yeah, I can put my ass and my tits in there.
You can put your cum in there also.
Wow.
If you need a safe place to store your ass and cum, hit a ledger.
There's no way that ad's approved. All right,
I'm
back to the episode.
Australian Shepherd token. You guys are disgusting people.
Sorry. Listen, it's not our fault.
The cum rocket token, I don't really know what that stands for.
Where do you get? Where do you head? Ledger.com?
Ledger.com. They have a crypto starter pack. If you've never bought any crypto, head over to Ledger.com. Hit the crypto starter pack. It'll be in our description.
Correct.
And they will give you your first, $25?
$25 voucher.
To go buy crypto wherever you want.
Yes.
I have my Ledger. I actually just transferred some coins over there over the weekend.
Was it easy?
It was actually really easy. I was a little nervous because I was like, it's a lot of money.
You feel safe?
Yes.
So if you see D on a bird on the way home, just mug his ass.
I don't carry the
Ask
ledger
for the
anyways.
code.
Yeah,
What is it, 15 words?
24 words.
Yeah.
You'll never guess them.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you, the words are, they'll give you some hints for the words.
Oh, God. Oh my gosh.
Fucking bribing keywords.
You should release 12 of the words.
You know what I'm going to do?
It'll be like a mystery hunt.
I'm going to put like $500 on a ledger. I'm going to give hints to every episode.
And release 20 words.
Yeah.
And say, if you can guess the 4 remaining words,
yeah.
there you go.
This is what Satoshi should have done.
This is
Satoshi
fun. We're doing this with Ledger. This is 100%.
I mean, sure, if you want your shit hacked.
No, but we'll put $500 on, maybe $500 of Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Yeah.
We will give hints in every episode of what the word is, and then we'll give it away.
You should do 24 episodes.
24 episodes.
And in the intro, or maybe the outro, whatever, there's a hint to each
outro,
word.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have to stay all the way through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Look at that. And that's how marketing campaigns are thought up over here.
Thank you for that.
Thanks. So you want to work with us? We'll come up with your campaign live on air.
During your ad read.
During your ad read. So go check
Thanks,
it
Ledger.
out.
Really appreciate it.
Ledger, our price went up.
Ian, please, continue to sponsor us.
All right, listen, we're off to a rough start, but go check it out. You'll love it. Back to the episode.
I would say more. It's one of the most recognized brands on earth.
Okay, so they should be paying Rob half that money.
They might be.
Yeah, they might be.
Well.
I mean, when I went on MTV the other day, I saw it on Twitter trending ridiculousness, and I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
That's all they play. I went on it. I looked at it the
It's
other
literally
day.
it.
That's literally it. So I'm thinking to myself, if MTV is worth $5 billion,
It's what they make in ad. They should be paying him 50% cut on whatever their ad.
Yeah, he should
revenue is.
renegotiate for the ad buy.
But hey, he just got like a new Ferrari, I think he posted. I think
seems to be doing all
They
right.
might be.
yeah, I mean, that's my point, is that like MTV's entire business model is relying on your cousin.
You can negotiate deals in a million different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows how Rob's deal is structured with Viacom, whether he has a piece of ad revenue, whether it's a license deal, whether they own it. And that's another part of, you guys talk about agencies, like we have a very good, deep knowledge of how different deals exist and the different ways you can put them together. And, you can look at a lot of different data from a lot of different places. You could look at Viacom, you could look at their competitors and say, okay, here's best practices from all of them. Here's how you incorporate it into Rob's business so that he gets half of that ad tonnage because he's the reason that they're signing up.
We'll ask him.
So the program director at MTV is like,
More Rob.
You know what? That show is
Do we have more Rob? How much more time does Rob have?
Yeah, can we slide him in 18 hours a day? Because I really can't find anything else.
I don't know. What, a program director at MTV, whether it's $250,000, $300,000, they should just add that to Rob's check and fire that guy.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder how many employees do they have working over there?
What are you
What are you doing? What the?
Just be like, I don't know, ask Rob.
Yeah.
What commercials do you want to do? I don't know, ask Rob.
I don't know how much he'll talk about because I know some details of this stuff. If he will open up a little bit about it on here, it's way more funny than you think. That's not totally off the mark.
I mean,
we've talked about this on the podcast, and I'm curious what your take and like kind of Hollywood's take is, because I'm of the view that I understand how technology companies are built, and what Netflix is doing is effectively upfront money, A-list talent, paying them hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, whether it's Kevin Hart, Shonda Rhimes, whoever the big star is. And they're doing that because that upfront number is so flashy and amazing for the A-list talent, but they're losing all royalties. So there's never going to be the Larry David Seinfeld, whatever the rumor is, they still make $100 million a year on Seinfeld royalties or $200 million. The numbers are just mind-boggling. And they're
what's the deal with no royalties?
They're arbing the talent. What Netflix has done is they've taken like a technology, like kind of software, let's dump it all into CapEx and we'll cash flow the shit out of these people for the rest of the time.
I mean, the deals are ever evolving, especially when you have more competition, right? But I think part of the Netflix equation, when you're thinking about it, is that anytime you think of instant gratification, it's kind of this. So if you're a newer talent, even if you're a more established talent, you know that your series, your film's going to get dropped, and the whole world's going to see it. And if it hits globally. There's a different kind of ripple effect to what happens after that. So that's one piece of it. So there's instant gratification, there's global recognition right away. There's also different ways that they kind of do in lieu of back-end royalty. So there's ways that the talent's getting compensated to in lieu of kind of that money that's going away. But to your point, it's very much more controlled. It doesn't go on forever. And it's just contained and boxed up as opposed to this being this endless kind of annuity.
Because there is no like syndication ability.
In my opinion,
No, because you're selling what you used to do is and we can still sometimes do this, right? You can license something for North America only.
Yeah.
When you do a deal with Netflix, it's usually going global right away. When you do a deal with Amazon Prime or Apple, it's going global right away.
Yeah.
So there's no other windows, there's no other exploitation availability.
Yeah.
because what Netflix is effectively doing with the talent that they're acquiring is it's the Amazon version of fulfillment centers. We're going to spend billions of dollars on this content. It's going to live forever, and we're going to deliver goods out of there faster and faster.
Is that accurate? Like, meaning like there's not like Stranger Things, there's no royalties on, it's fees.
Generally speaking, it's for hire, owned by the streamer, and you get paid and participate from that piece.
So that makes those upfront fees make a little bit more
But
sense.
I think occasionally there's exceptions.
Yeah.
Because I heard...
Plus, you get the chance that like Stranger Things IP is now worth.
Look, even but even in the old model, like the number of like everyone references the Jerry Seinfeld thing.
Yeah.
The number of those instances are limited compared to the hundreds of shows that come and go every year. So the type of project and property that it takes to hit those sort of kind of numbers and that sort of recognition is very rare. And
It's ridiculousness.
That thing was still
Rob's
the test
the Jerry
of time.
Seinfeld.
Rob's the modern day Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, but that's not like a syndication. It's not though. Once again, I don't want to speak on.
I
his,
watched
I'll
it
let
on a
him-
plane.
I'll let him come.
He's
speak
getting
on
his
his
Delta
own thing.
check.
It's different. I'll let him talk about it. But it's not. That's not how the money is not. It's not the same structure as a Jerry Seinfeld deal.
Okay.
It's not. And but back to the streamers, ascent of the different streamers makes it so that you're seeing these terms start to change. So if 6 people want Stranger Things, someone's going to say, you know what? Fuck it. We'll give you back end forever.
But how do they even calculate that?
It's calculated in a kind of different
Like by
model.
It's the same way. What data do we get from Facebook on our ad buys? It's pretty. I mean, they could just tell us whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, it would be bad if it was fake.
But they've been caught. They've been caught
Yeah, on the
with
video,
their
the videos. Yeah,
that it was fake.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd also be bad if they listened to your microphone and served you ads.
At the end of the day, if you got something everyone wants, you can also make up the terms of trade that you want.
Yeah.
So that kind of cuts both ways. And the onus on, you, the content creator or the rep, isn't to like say, here's the data and here's this, how I substantiate it. It's just say, this thing's awesome. And if you fucking want it, this is what you got to pay for it.
Like if I was the creator of like Stranger Things, for instance, and Netflix came back to me and said, we want season 8 or whatever, I would charge like...
They probably own it.
There's
in perpetuity.
renegotiations.
Yeah.
There's renegotiations.
But I'm just saying, wouldn't you, if you had a hit and you know that they then get to go run it forever, you would just charge like, I want $500 million.
But you know what the problem is?
Yeah.
Whatever the number
That's
is
exactly what you do.
Okay,
that the
great,
talent
great.
is
That
willing to
makes
say
sense.
yes to and Netflix is willing to offer, Netflix is coming up on top.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it
But,
seems
but,
like
but
Netflix,
drama, what you said is exactly what happened.
Great, then that makes sense.
You do a 2-3 year deal. There's a couple options on it. The options run out, and then all of a sudden they want Stranger Things 4, 5, 6, 7, and they have to do a new deal for that.
Yeah,
The
And you
deal
can charge
changes a
an
lot.
arm and a leg. Yeah, that makes sense. Then fuck.
And by the way, the guys who made Stranger Things are at that point a super hot commodity. Everyone wants to be in business with them.
Yeah, it's not a bad
and
deal.
they have options.
Yeah.
They might not be able to take Stranger Things somewhere else, but they'll just go and create their next franchise. That would be the goal. That would be the setup.
True.
That's how Shonda Rhimes ends up with an overall deal at Netflix.
big fan
God,
of
how
the shows.
fun, man. This is why, man. This is the type of stuff, kind of, but we got a deep dive here that like we'll get from you in private text messages. But I feel like the listener just got like a master
And I'm like,
class.
yo, bros, this is fucking off.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen often. I actually, all jokes aside, I get so much of my information from the way you guys round it up and connect everything from tech to media to Hollywood to, your guys' kind of retail merch business. I mean, at the end of the day, what I find to be the new kind of opportunity when I get asked is that the intersection of tech and media is the most interesting part of the business to me.
Yeah.
And the way that brands and advertisers are going to have to kind of interface with content creators is really interesting. The way that now, if Facebook and Google can't sell you data about the audience and you're a brand trying to target audience, the next best way to do it is through content creators, podcast creators and owners who can tell you a lot about their audience, about their age, where they live, what they consume, what they're like. They're going to supplant what was once those other kind of mediums. So like those kind of intersections are very interesting. And I think that's where big money is going to get made over the next 5 years.
Do you know Adrian?
Which Adrian?
Adrian's Kickback.
Did you by any chance were you in Huntington Beach over the weekend?
Yeah.
You look a little
No.
Huntington Beach.
No.
in your weekend.
Just because I wear a hat?
The Ruka hat. You wear a surf hat. Your weekend vibe. Well, apparently we all missed a big party, and I'm still so confused about what it even is.
So Adrian had a big kickback this weekend.
Who's Adrian?
I don't know, but
It didn't look like a kickback. Kickback sounds more like relaxed.
Yeah.
All right,
lounge.
Pete probably knows what's going on.
You don't know?
nobody knows who Adrian is.
I
Pete, fill us
understand what had happened. I don't know who Adrian is.
Here's what I understand.
It's
This
It's
went
just a-
viral on
It
TikTok.
was definitely
Adrian's
that.
Kickback.
Yep.
It was a fake party, but it went viral. And
Everyone
Was it
showed
a
up.
fake party or was it always a real party?
We don't know. Adrian's like Satoshi.
Like, did it start? Adrian might be Satoshi. Did it start with a real kickback that then went viral?
Jason here seems to know.
I know everything about
Okay, give him the mic.
Give the man a mic.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Jason here as our new intern. He
knows
apparently
it all.
might know who Adrian is.
Jason the intern, day one, dropping
You
knowledge.
look like Adrian.
You look like you could be Adrian.
So basically, somebody put a flyer out on TikTok and it says Adrian's Kickback with some trap music, and it just blew up. People started
And it was
liking it.
real?
This is real.
Okay.
He was like telling his friends come out. He's from the Inland Empire,
Okay.
and it's Huntington Beach. Blows up on TikTok. All these TikTok influencers are commenting like, "Let's all write out." That's on Wednesday, I think. Thursday, more clout, more people are writing in. By Friday, all the big names, Sky Jackson, everybody's posting about it. All these check marks going big. And then he turns it into a 3-day Coachella. So people show up Friday, people show up yesterday, and people showing up today. And it's just riots, like just people in like masses walking around Huntington Beach.
Wait,
Cops-
so it was a real event?
Yeah, people showed up. And then cops
And
out there-
Adrian's real.
But
yeah,
it's-
it was Adrian's a real person, yeah.
And then it kind of became like a half joke, half let's make it viral thing.
Yeah, pretty much. And then so Adrian, what he did, he tried to get money out of it. He sold tickets, changed it to a venue, made everybody pay $30, and then at the end of the night, made his Instagram private, deleted his TikTok. So now he's off the face of the earth. And he
That's why I can't find Adrian. I was looking for him all
like
This guy's
200
pretty
grand.
industrious. This sounds like a Fire Festival 2.0 or
Yeah,
something.
this
Pretty
was the
much.
partner
What
of
I
Billy.
saw on TikTok was that there were full-blown riots in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
No, like
Tear gas.
stomping out
Yes.
cop cars, fireworks, tear gas. I mean, it was wild, wild stuff.
I somehow missed all of this weekend.
It happened
You
last
didn't
night.
say
Seems to be
anything about
watching.
Zero.
Oh my! You have to. This
I mean,
is
you should
digital.
sign Adrian. This guy just created the
You
biggest.
should do a
Well, it sounds like he's
partnership.
gone.
Wait,
So.
he's hated now. He's hated now.
Oh, people don't like him now.
Oh no, because he scammed everyone. Because like the venue he rented out, he never rented out a venue. He took everyone's money, deleted his stuff, and he's gone.
Oh,
So he
Well,
just-
same with Ascoin.
more of a reason to sign him. This guy's.
If I was
like a
Jad, I
Kaiser
would find,
Sose.
I'd do like a Golden Voice Adrian collaboration and have every summer Adrian's kickback.
kickback at Huntington
And
Beach.
so the cops were lighting fireworks in the middle of the gathering to disperse the crowd because they were outnumbered. And they had to call police forces from Anaheim, Garden Grove, all the neighboring areas as backup because they couldn't control the kids. They outnumbered the cops.
That's also just right. I mean, people have been inside for a year and a half. I feel like we're going to
Those
see
kids
so much.
were inside.
They were never, and no one was inside for a year and a half.
You don't think that a lot of this? Like I was watching. Once again, I'm an avid golfer. I don't know if you guys heard.
Yeah.
I was watching PGA this weekend, and they were
You know, we
saying,
own
You're a big
IMG.
lefty.
Maybe we could sign you under our golf vertical.
saying, think
You know,
about
it's
it.
possible.
I'm
Do
rising
you know who
quickly.
Lefty is?
I know who that is.
He
Jack-
does it
Jack Nicholson.
because he's a
Phil
fraud.
Mickelson.
You're a fraud.
Phil
You're a
Mickelson, right?
fraud, Joe. Yeah,
fraud.
that's the whole point of the weekend. What were you watching?
But they call him Lefty
The whole
'cause
weekend's
they call-
about Lefty.
That's all I've been watching is
Phil
Phil.
Milk? Yeah,
but I
that's his
didn't hear him
nickname.
call him Lefty. I just knew he was Lefty.
I'll tell you,
Name another
Drama
lefty
was
golfer.
too busy at Adrian's kickback.
Hey, listen. But what they were saying is that the crowds were like extra rowdy there, and they're like, "Oh, people seem to have forgot their manners because like people have just been pent up for a year and a half. They're just going wild."
I thought the youth were a little soft. This weekend makes me think they're a little rowdy.
No, they were.
I don't
they
think
were
they're all
fighting
soft.
cops.
I
They
think
like
there's a
punching you in
soft
the-
group, and then there's a very not
Dedication.
soft group.
Yeah.
I mean, I think summer's back. It's a beach town.
Yeah.
You got a lot of pent up energy.
A lot of white
perfect
Can we
perfect
actually-
They all
recipe.
have their Dogecoins through the roof.
Can we
They're
actually-
like,
Dogecoin
fuck
dropped.
you.
No,
It
yeah,
is.
the Doge,
It
That's
did.
probably why
Dogecoin
they
is falling
got
off
so
a
mad.
I thought Doge.
Can we zoom out a little, Tim? TikTok made this viral. TikTok is run by a Chinese company that recently the CFO of the Chinese parent company is now the CEO of TikTok.
You think they're trying to destroy Huntington
No,
Beach?
my point is now they just got the evidence that they have
can
this
do
kind
anything.
of effect.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
you can literally create riots in an American city
For sure.
by making something go viral.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we've known.
Yeah.
We've
That's
And
great
you
point.
can send the virality to the youth that is not so soft.
Yeah.
You find the TikTokers like, oh, this is the rowdy youth.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Now-
this is,
now
this is
they've got
basically
them in a folder.
This
Yeah,
has basically
roll in
been
a folder.
Facebook business model for like years.
They're just
Yeah.
better at it.
They are better at it.
So you think Adrian is the Chinese government?
No, my point is this.
Could be.
Your point is that it could be.
Could be.
No, my
But
point
the
is-
point is it could be.
My point is it will be.
Yes.
Very astute
That's
point.
the absolute fact. It will be.
I believe easily that the next Capitol Hill riot type thing could happen on TikTok.
And it will be
100%.
controlled by a Chinese.
I mean, it just
government.
happened. I mean, it happened on Saturday
Yeah,
in Huntington
yeah,
Beach.
yeah.
This shit was
I
crazy.
mean, had
Can
those
you
kids shown up to
imagine
the
the
Capitol,
alarm
I think
bells?
they would have gone through the
Can
Capitol.
you imagine the alarm bells in the CCP right now? They're just like, oh my God, we
Yeah,
can do
like,
this.
we
We
have this
control
power.
the American youth.
Yeah, they're like, we thought we could sell freaking lava lamps and starlights, but little did we know we can cause a whole riot.
Yes. It's scary. I can't believe this isn't being talked about more because it's so goddamn obvious.
Yeah, people don't make that connection. People don't, like most people don't make the connection of how dangerous that
How
actually
about the NSA, the CIA, the FBI?
They're paying attention.
They're paying attention.
I don't think they're not as stupid as you think. They know
Well,
what they're.
it should not be in America allowed.
But the problem, the politicians don't get it.
That's
So
the
even
problem.
if NSA and CIA are saying, "Yo," I'm sure CIA and NSA years ago brought up TikTok. Like, why are we allowing this to happen? Because there was an interesting tweet someone put out
So
that
you
in
think
China,
Trump's getting, while Trump was president, in his briefing that he wasn't reading. Like, we should worry about TikTok.
100%.
I bet it was in there. He doesn't read it.
100%. But think about it. If you think about the Chinese government, they have banned Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, go on and on and on and on. They don't allow any of our platforms in their country. We obviously don't care. We will allow anything.
It's the biggest national security threat.
Is Adrian.
No, it's just that.
Yeah.
No, for the average American public that like don't realize
Yeah.
how you're getting convinced to do these things.
I mean, at least
totally
when they had the white guy from Disney there, I was like, okay, they're gonna have to clean up their act.
Oh,
And that's
that
what
guy's
hired him.
gone?
He didn't last 6
He's
months.
been gone.
He's been gone. They
Oh.
hired the CFO of ByteDance in China.
And then they told
He,
the
he left before there was all the controversy
Yeah.
about the lawsuit by the U.S. government against TikTok
Oh, he's
to
been
bar it.
gone that
He
long.
probably saw what was in there and he's like, fuck this.
And then last week, we didn't talk about this. The founder of ByteDance got Jack Mod last
Yeah, I
week.
heard about that.
yeah. Quietly. No one's talking
but
about it.
Anand, I'm devil's advocate for a second. I mean, I agree with you that there's security risk with TikTok, but the same thing happens on Facebook in this same country. So I mean, you see the same dynamic happening in other platforms, and all of it's unregulated.
So
But the point is, like, does Mark Zuckerberg have any, like...
Mark Zuckerberg has to show up in Congress and
No,
Meaning, does Mark
he doesn't
Zuckerberg
have
have any incentive to,
No.
like, bring down America?
No, his incentive is just
Yes.
to sell ads.
Yes.
Whereas
all of their
Chinese owned business influenced by the Chinese government is incentivized to bring down the house.
And
here.
now that the Chinese government has sidelined the CEO of ByteDance, it is now run by the Chinese government.
Yeah.
So what is the incentives of the Chinese government? Sure, make ByteDance a big company. What else is it? To make sure China surpasses the United States of America.
Yeah. There's going to be Adrian kickbacks in every city.
Yeah.
Adrian Comeback is global.
Global.
I bet
Smash,
you even
destroy.
TikTok was shocked of what they pulled off.
Yeah. They probably see trends happen on their data and they're like, these guys are idiots.
poor guess on this one.
Can you believe this? Yeah, I don't know, man. But it was when it comes to business, I think there's a business in Adrian's kickbacks.
Oh, yeah.
And the Chinese have figured it out.
And the Chinese own it already. They took everyone's $30. In the world of, I think a lot is changing post pandemic, right? People are out rioting. People are a little bit louder watching Lefty.
Yeah.
Things like tipping are being affected. Are people more generous? I feel, let me just tell you, when I go to places that I like, the other day I went to Pinche's
Okay.
Tacos on Sunset.
Great place.
Small establishment.
You know the same guy is still there working. You see him, right?
And I tipped a little extra.
Like,
They retain their workforce.
Give me the number.
Yes.
Give me the number. Exactly. Because I had an incident this morning on a bagel.
So I honestly don't know, but I would say normally like I'm a pretty solid 20% tipper. It was probably like, keep in mind, we're talking about like a 20.
Just say the number.
I honestly don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Probably on like a $25 bill, I tipped like $8 or $10.
Yeah.
That's a
Because
lot.
I was just
Wow.
like, you know what? I'm sure
Thank
the
you
last
for your
year was
service. Yeah.
thank you for your burrito service.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how I felt.
I am in the same boat. Everywhere I go, I'm completely over tipping.
Yeah.
Even today, I went to get a bagel. I think my bill was $4.95, and I gave $3.
Yeah.
I went to the Nice Guy the other day, and I gave, I tipped.
Wow,
and
even nice guy.
yeah, and
Well, he tipped because
How do you tip on
Well,
I get a
paid his
very
bill for
generous,
2019.
one of few people that get a very generous discount there. And I tipped 20%
Mhm.
on the whole bill. And it was like, damn. And I gave him some more money after in cash because
Yeah.
I felt guilty. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, I don't know what this guy's situation is. Fast forward, this actually happened prior to this meal, but last week we were at Javier's in Century City, and I ran into actually an old waiter that worked at Nice Guy,
Uh-huh.
and I started talking to him. And I don't know if you've ever been there recently,
Mm-mm.
but it's bananas.
At
right?
Javier's or?
Javier's
Got
in
it.
Century City. And I go to the guy, how's business? He's like, I'm making so much fucking money.
Really?
Oh.
Yes.
So maybe we're tipping.
Yeah, we're all
These guys
feeling
have
guilty.
stimmy.
Yeah.
There's money coming in. Doge is up.
But we're all tipping, and this is like if you ever saw the first episode of Seinfeld and the last episode of Seinfeld, they were talking about a button on a shirt. And I feel like this is like full circle. Early episode of Group Chat was about tipping because at AJ's Hilltop Coffee,
Yeah.
I went there
Mhm.
when I tipped at a pickup.
Is this the last episode of Group Chat?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, I think. Sorry.
Go ahead. You just went to Nobu the other day. How much you tip
At least 20%.
on a big bill?
Yes. And I think what it is that before people, because I agree with everything you guys are saying, I think it's become like automatic that before people were like, okay, if I have great service, I'm going to tip 20%, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Now it's become minimum 20%.
Even if I have shitty
And
service, I'm
even
like,
if you-
listen, probably was a rough year.
100%.
Can I
Like the
also-
worst service ever, you're giving
Yeah.
20%
Yeah.
and up.
It's also just inflation.
Yeah.
Everyone who shows up in Malibu had the best year financially that they've ever had.
Yeah.
So 20%, 25,
30,
30%.
it's irrelevant.
Completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
That inflation's here. It's been here for the last 3 months because everyone at the top end made so much damn money in the last 12 to 18 months that it's open. They're just spending it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pent up demand.
Buy lumber. So
Lumber's tumbling.
Yeah, it's tumbling
Is it?
now. Yeah, it's over.
Oh no.
Well, if you would have read the newsletter on it, you would understand that it was set.
Listen, there's too much
But clearly, you're
content.
not reading our
Shit,
newsletter.
I even read it.
Well, listen, it sounds like it's a pretty like it's the new norm at the
And I have
moment.
one beef with tipping. DoorDash.
Yes, I tipped
They make
$2
you
last night.
tip
Before
before you even
Now.
Yes.
initiate the service.
Postmates just started that too. Like
Because
last week.
Postmates is now fully integrated Uber Eats, which I'm really mad
And here's
about.
the thing, I'm scared to tip low because I'm scared they're gonna spit in my food.
Yeah, I don't know when they see that. Do they see the tip? I hope they see it after they deliver.
I don't know.
Then
bro.
you
I'm not
have to
taking the
give
risk.
like 20%.
Because what if this DoorDasher takes 2 hours to deliver my food or leaves or doesn't
Yeah.
put it
They likely will.
or dips his balls in it.
Yeah.
Because he's probably like, yo, I had a rough
50%
year
of
too.
meals on DoorDash are dipped in balls.
I would like to. Actually, I don't want to see those stats, but I bet you it's insane.
I guarantee
The
you
pre-tip-
it's staggering.
The pre-tip, pre-order is offensive.
It's
I agree.
ridiculous.
I lowball all those.
Oh, wow.
I'll tip.
You've been eating a lot of balls.
Balls.
You know, Drama's McDonald, they're eating those fries.
lately
He's like, this ranch tastes weird.
It's a little
Tastes a little
bally
more
in here. Oh my god!
I don't stand for pre-tip.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. I'm scared they're gonna see it and punish me.
Yeah.
All right, we got to do a big topic jump. Let's do another throwback topic.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein. So what now? The guards came out and said, "Yeah, we lied.
Yeah.
We're
They lied.
liars."
Yeah. And they're taking a plea deal with the Department of Justice.
What's
and
the lie?
The lie is that they definitely falsified evidence of the night of Jeffrey Epstein's
But
death.
it's unclear whether
They're not going to let us know what
It's
they're
unclear
falsifying.
what was falsified.
Yes.
And they lied so that they wouldn't get in trouble for mismanaging,
All that detail has not come out.
or
yet.
because Bill Gates told them to.
Speaking of Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates hit Nobu this weekend
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
in New York
In New York.
with his daughter, no mask, chest out, just ready to mingle.
Bill Gates got a pair of boobs on him.
Yeah,
Does
he's
he?
got some titties.
I
Bill
mean,
Gates
he's
is
not worried about that microchip.
He is not who I thought he was,
Well,
man.
I thought he was like, I thought he was
He's
super skinny.
unshaven.
Yeah.
He's kind of big.
It's not a good look for
was,
him.
He was a little bigger than I would have
He
thought.
looked like a
someone
mess.
like Bill Gates. It's New York Post was the one.
Don't you have
and that's why
machines
when
that just
people
like
compare Bill Gates to Jeff Bezos is the Terminator.
He's a unit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not kidding. You seen that dude?
Oh yeah,
Fucking like
he's
Arnold Schwarzenegger of
scruffy.
the tech world.
I'm gonna be
But
honest. I don't understand how you have this much money and you're
A
this
big guy.
out of shape.
And he had his
I just
wedding.
know- I know there's a lot
he
of
had his
people that
wedding
like-
band still on in the picture.
Yeah, he had the wedding band on.
Let it go, Bill.
See, he's trying to make right.
Does
Trying to
Melinda have
overcorrect.
the ring on?
Yeah, there's no
Hell
chance she
no.
does.
No. She got a new ring on.
But
and
Nobu?
we won't name his party. We heard there was a big high-profile party in LA last night.
Yeah.
And both Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk were in attendance.
Yes. They're out in these streets.
Quite a party.
Yeah, that is quite a party.
Bill didn't get the invite.
I don't know. I
No,
guess
Bill's in
not.
New
But
York.
it
Yeah.
says Bill has been laying low in recent weeks at an ultra-exclusive golf club in Indian Wells. Interesting.
I wonder where that was.
What do you?
Drama, when do you arrive at Indian Wells?
Well, I think Memorial Weekend I'll go out.
It was like it was me, Bill, Gates, Clinton. We're just throwing back some beers.
Just throwing
Jeff
back some
Epstein's
beers,
little brother.
playing a little oh my god!
Nothing weird.
The whole crew was there.
Got the whole gang back.
Oh my god!
Isn't it crazy that Isn't it crazy that if you're like kind of seen with Bill Gates publicly, it's kind of a bad look now?
Yeah.
That's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Is this just a quick
That happened
moment?
in like a 2-week window.
Yes.
I mean, two weeks prior to that, he was Bill and
Like,
Melinda Gates.
If you're married
Leading
with
the
kids,
free
like,
world.
hey,
Yeah.
I'm having dinner with Bill Gates, your wife's going to be like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not with that Playboy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like having dinner with Hugh Hefner.
For real. Oh my God. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens, but it just seems like Bill, we're going to have a lot of Bill news for the next couple of weeks.
I know. I want, honestly, I like look up to Bill Gates so much just of what he's done for humanity. I really want him to come be unscathed out of this. But I mean, genuinely, not like, oh, he's just going to get away with it. Like actually, when all the details come out and he was just an idiot hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. That's
Oh,
what I
you
hope.
mean-
No,
you
but
mean
that,
Epstein.
unfortunately, you can't look past that detail because I agree what he's done for humanity with polio and what he's done for developing countries is nothing
I
short
mean,
of just
technology, internet, there would be
yeah.
nothing without him.
agree on all of that. But from a morality standpoint, like you can't overlook numerous hangs with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But what
it is a bummer though, because he was, to Dee's point, like this more or less billionaire protagonist.
Yeah.
And, obviously there's a lot of people who doubted certain aspects of his business and what he did, but that felt like very conspiracy theorist. That said, like you see this protagonist kind of fall quickly,
Yeah.
and you look around and, there's not a lot of people like him.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's very different than Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos had a marriage that fell apart.
Yeah.
And he got caught cheating. And,
Yeah, I agree.
that happens to a lot of people. But this is the Jeffrey Epstein connection.
Yeah. That's the problem. Because even the like hitting on staffers and stuff, it's not good, but it's not Epstein flights.
Yeah, and the one affair that was confirmed by everyone, that's 20 years ago or
It
whatever
has
it
nothing to do about affairs, cheating, divorce. He could have had 3 mistresses. It's singularly
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein.
I
was.
agree.
Yeah, and back to those guards. I mean, there's
We have guards falsifying data
There's
about
no-
the guy we're talking about.
there's no real surprise here
Yeah,
by
yeah.
anyone, right? Like it seems from the get-go.
Who's
when
making
they-
a movie about this? Anyone good?
Don't know yet.
It's definitely coming.
Definitely don't want to be cast as Jeffrey Epstein.
But yeah, who plays that role?
It's probably the guy from the college admission scandal.
That
I
guy
feel
was
like he
good.
could just roll into Jeffrey Epstein. Didn't that
Playing the role.
It's typecast.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
my
a scumbag typecast. I used to play the worst guy in the world. That's like
We
my
got
role.
another heinous villain for you.
You guys watch that. That could
Yeah.
easily be Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
You're right.
Scruffy old dude.
You're definitely right. Okay, well, we'll see. We're going to get a lot more news, but the fact that came out is like they said, yes, we lied. I mean, I feel like the rabbit hole is back open.
Yep.
I got to be honest. I haven't looked at my Bitcoin holdings.
Because you don't have it anymore.
Oh, okay. So we're back to the fiat dollar.
Yes.
Okay, I got a few of those sitting in a
Dollar's
dresser
looking real
back at
stable
home.
again all of a sudden.
Luckily, I got $127 in a shelf at home, so I'm going to start there.
How's the old Pete account doing?
Petered away.
It's low, but highs and lows, man.
Is
Highs and
Doge
lows.
down too?
Huh?
Doge is down. What's
What's
Toilet.
up? Nothing's up anymore.
What are you at on Doge?
Not
Doge is at 31.9
Yes.
right now.
That's
I think it
not
was at a high
too
of
bad.
70.
It was at 25
Yeah, it's
5 earlier.
this morning.
Mhm.
Bitcoin's
31
back
is
at
about what it was
35K.
before that
Fine.
big rally, right? So I mean, that's kind of
So-
like the
Well,
last 3-week
oh,
rally
it's
or
ugly.
so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's ugly in here.
Last Sunday when we were talking with Ian from Ledger, we were I think Bitcoin is at 44 or 45,000. Today it's at 34,000.
And that 45 was low for the record.
Ethereum hit a low this morning, I think like 17 something $100.
That was up to like 4,500.
43.
Yeah.
Bitcoin on the year is only up like less than 10% now. Ethereum's still up on the year. What the fuck's going on?
Anand, you told me to buy more.
Yes.
So I'm
Buy more, pay later. Where's the Klarna?
It's my afterpay.
so I apologize to the tourists of crypto
well,
that don't understand how this space works.
Are you calling me an immigrant?
I'm calling you a tourist, not an immigrant.
A crypto immigrant.
You're a crypto tourist.
He's telling you to stick around.
Yeah, the tour's not over. No, but this is the thing that, you know how many texts I've gotten in the last week? Crypto's crashing. I was like, the all-time high was in January, February.
Mm-hmm.
The previous all-time high. It's still above that.
Uh-huh.
So what is it crashing respective to what? And if you just got in the space in the last 90 days, sure, the volatility is like probably shocking, but this is how the space is. And if you can't stomach it, you should leave.
Whoa.
All right.
Okay, Jesus.
Drama just left.
No, but I've been talking about this for years. I mean, I've seen my personal crypto holdings fall by 90% 3 times since 2011, 12.
You got real
3
diamond
times.
hands, huh?
Yeah.
I've
Let me
seen
see
my
those
Doge
hands.
holdings fall 3 times.
Those rough hands?
Hold those things up.
You must be shitting your pants, Pete.
Is there any more kind of insights over the last week? If that's just like a domestic sell-off, is it the China thing?
So I think it's a combination of we talked about this a lot in the last episode, that so many people are over-levered on their crypto holdings. So a 5-10% swing turns into a 30-40% swing because everything just gets automatically liquidated. But yeah, the China information is nothing new. China's banned crypto effectively since 2013. They reiterated in 2017. They reiterated it last week. So this isn't new news. So maybe miners have to relocate, like, I guess, but it's very clear that institutions have decided that Bitcoin is a real asset, and absent of a hack, Bitcoin is going to exist because it already reached the network effect it needs to.
What about ass?
What about what?
What about tongue?
Australian Shepherd. The coin?
Shibu.
Ass coin?
No.
Yeah, ass coin.
Not Shibu coin.
What about ass?
Ass coin.
Look.
Dick coin?
Safe moon.
That's up to you guys.
Safe moon?
I'm a tourist when it comes to that stuff. So
How much of your portfolio is in ass?
Yeah. How much ass you getting these days?
How much ass you got?
No, but I mean, it's like we said on the pod with Ian. It's either going to be worth a lot more or it goes to zero.
Yeah.
I still believe that.
All right, so we should double down. Is this a buy the dip moment?
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it.
I bought in a lot of Ethereum.
But like Dee said, we've talked to as many
So have I.
people that are panicking and crying in their text messages about crypto crashing.
No one's
Who's
selling.
selling?
Nobody's selling.
Pete, what are you doing with your portfolio?
Picked up a little Ethereum. Actually, a lot of it.
Did you sell Doge to get there?
A lot of Ethereum. What does that
New
mean?
money.
Diamond hands.
New money's coming in.
Oh, so you're
Well,
depositing
no,
new-
I didn't invest
So
everything
just
in
for,
a Doge
for also context, Ethereum a year ago was probably trading at $150.
Yeah.
It's $2,100 now.
$150?
Yes.
Yeah.
How long ago?
A year?
Well, I mean, that's like equivalent to saying.
No,
Yeah.
Bitcoin was at 7K, 6K. It bounced back to 6-7K by
I'm
now.
just saying, stock market was also in the toilet a year ago.
Yeah, but it wasn't 20x.
I mean,
Yeah.
certain ones did.
I mean, sure, you could find Penn
Pete-
Gaming.
Pete, so you
Yeah,
kept your
Celsius.
you
Have you heard
kept
of
your
that?
Doge.
So absolutely catch my Doge.
Is your life savings in Doge?
No.
Give me your portfolio breakdown percentage. You don't have to give me dollar amount. Percentage.
It's probably like 50, 60% Doge.
Okay.
Then it's gonna go Ethereum. And
How many
then,
percent?
Ethereum's probably like another 10 now, 15. I'm not even doing the math in my head. So this is probably so wrong.
This is irrelevant.
So I'm gonna, yeah. No, I mean like
He's not doing any math.
you know, Algorand is a little bit less than that, and then actually got some Chainlink.
Okay.
Wow.
So-
What made you become a Marine?
I don't know. I just hear these from people, and I just go by.
Do you know
them.
you're a Marine? Is this like a lefty
Nope.
situation?
Nope, I definitely
That's
do not
what
know.
people who own Chainlink
Yeah.
call themselves Marines.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm also a tourist here.
What's the zoom out analysis say about this?
I think that's exactly what your rant before. It could just be summed up in 2 words: zoom out.
Yeah.
Zoom out.
That's fair.
I like that.
That's
Tim.
right. That's right.
No, but the thing that I've always said about people who want to get into space, you should just weekly auto buy and you'll dollar cost average. So one day you bought Bitcoin at 50K, one day you bought Bitcoin at 30K.
And that's what.
That's all you should be doing.
And even said it like Ian said, don't do it monthly because that's too much.
yeah,
it's
it's
weekly.
weekly.
I have a very mundane question for you, Anand. When you say bi-weekly, are you going in buying the same amount manually?
Yeah.
No,
every
you
week?
can
no,
set
no,
it
no,
on
no,
auto
Get it
buy.
set up as
Yeah,
an
you
auto
can buy you can buy on Coinbase $10 a week, $20 a week, $100 a week. if you're Pete, $20,000 a week. Whatever.
Just
20,000
going out.
Doge coins a week.
No, but the point is,
Gotta
you
buy
can
the
do.
jet.
I mean, that how I actually built my Ethereum portfolio is I made a decent size buy when they just launched after the white paper, and then I was buying $50 a week
Wow.
because every week it was a coin.
Okay.
I'm out.
Okay.
I'm going back to Coca-Cola.
Caterpillar.
I'm with Warren.
He's probably pretty
I'm
happy
with
this
Warren
week.
and Charlie. Yeah, right after all of that and getting all that shit talked about them, they're probably like,
They love it.
the old guys win for a couple weeks.
Yeah, they
They'd
do.
still be better off if they'd invested in Apple 10 years ago.
Good point. Okay, that's it. That's all we got. We're gonna end on that.
Yeah. We got a shout out.
We got shout outs. Who do we got?
The first shout out is from Nick Lindner.
Okay.
He's giving a shout out to his sister who's leaving San Diego, buying her first house
Nice.
in Nashville.
Wow.
Yeah.
Making the move.
Booming market.
Yeah.
Nashville's
and
a hot relocation.
The new
place.
Austin.
Yep.
It really is. And actually, a friend of ours who used to come to Run Club, Alex, was in town today or yesterday, and he was he moved to Nashville, and he has like a 4 or 5 bedroom home, for like $600-700 crazy property. And he's a young guy, like he has his own business. He probably can hop on a plane whenever he wants.
Yeah.
And he's living a great life out there.
I got 2 or 3 friends do that too. There's an entertainment hub in Nashville. It's definitely starting to hit.
Yeah. No,
Music
WME
is
has a
awesome.
nice office.
Yeah. Yep.
Probably the only nice office building I saw
Good one.
was WME's. And I mean, Nick just threw in this at the end. Also, this month's Menlo package is fire. The Stanton slip-on comfy and the Arrowhead long sleeve shirt perfect for spring, summer nights. Super lightweight, breathable, and can style with multiple looks.
He wrote that?
He wrote
Is that Pete?
Look at D taking that free plug.
Was that an
I'll
ad?
take it. I was like, geez, this is unbelievable.
That was
plug.
great. Well, good luck in Nashville.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be great.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Do we
Is that
know
it?
why, of all the places, Taylor, because he was a tourist in Nashville, a tourist in Florida, a tourist in Austin, why he chose Austin over Nashville? There was a
Taxes.
reason. No, but they're both no taxes.
They're both now?
No state tax.
I think he has a lot of friends in Austin.
Mhm.
Definitely has a lot of
I
I
friends.
think
Austin's a
Austin's
little
still a little more
cooler.
alive.
Yeah.
It's a little like more LA
Yeah.
or
Nash-
New York.
Nashville's just
I mean, to be
on the
fair,
rise.
I don't know how his ticker is going. He was at Run Club Saturday, Taylor.
He said he's here till June 19th, he told me.
Yeah.
LA's
I'm
hot.
gonna keep an eye on his days
Well,
spent.
report him to IRS. You know you get a fee.
You do.
What's the bounty
I think it's like 30%.
It's pretty good.
of how much tax is he?
Of
Pete, you
how
taking
much-
notes?
Taylor makes a lot of money.
Look at Pete. Look
Wow.
at Pete.
It pays
Pete
me
just
to
took
snitch,
notice.
Pete.
Yeah.
There you go. Takashi.
I mean, we could. It's like an ad buy for us. We
Yeah.
could snitch on Taylor and call
Snitch on
it-
Taylor.
It's actually a good business if you look on Twitter of all these people who are bragging about leaving for Florida
Yeah.
and being like, hey, I'm going to track this guy,
Yeah.
his movements.
Rob Go's got to be a whale in Puerto Rico.
You can catch him slipping. Oh man. Is that it on shout outs?
That's all I have. Do you guys have any? Okay.
Jad, anybody you want to shout
Yeah,
out?
anyone you want to shout out?
You got the
No, I'm good.
opportunity.
Okay, good stuff, Jad. Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys.
We finally got you on here, and I feel like we got a masterclass.
Yeah, it was
Well,
great.
it's great to be here.
Yeah.
Hopefully you invite me back. And maybe the
Anytime.
stock portfolio will be doing a little better.
And hopefully, we'll all be in a little better mood.
Maybe next time you're on, I'll be taking you guys out to dinner. You never know.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
All right, we will see you later.
Peace.